You're working through the upgrade, you got it just about done, and then you ask yourself a question and you say, will my earlier versions of projects that I did in Final Cut Pro upgrade? And the answer is an unequivocal maybe. Now, don't forget, technical information is about to be disseminated, so please stay alert at all times. We're talking about legacy files. Now, if your question refers to anything in Final Cut Pro X, all the different versions of X we've had, because that was a quantum leap from 7, then the answer is yes. Of course it's going to do it. As a matter of fact, as soon as you do the upgrade, you're going to see this. Do you want to update your older projects? And you have 3 choices: later, now, or locate. Up to you. Now, let's say you decide not to, because if you say update all, it will do it. If you say locate, then it will manually create libraries for specific hard drives, folders, or what's called SAN locations, that's storage area networks. But you say, nah, I'm going to do it later. You'll get one more message, and it tells you where to go if later you change your mind. But let me give you one piece of advice. Never, never, never update a project in the middle of the project. Finish the project out in the older version of FCP, and then bring it into the newer version. That's almost like a rule of thumb with editors. We never update in the middle of a project. Now, what about earlier versions? And I'm talking 7. If you look at a timeline in Final Cut Pro X and compare it to the timeline in Final Cut Pro 7, they are quite different. Now, remember, we do non-destructive, non-linear editing. What we see in terms of how we manipulate our videos is done through extensible markup language. So the language of Final Cut Pro 7 on the right is slightly different than on the left, and for a while, we did not have the opportunity to actually update 7 to X. We can now. Now, if you go out to the App Store, you're going to see 7 to X for Final Cut Pro. I've got a little screenshot of it right here. In my opinion, if that project that you did in 7 is just really complicated, it's going to be more difficult to make the transition. And it actually might not do it. But if you do have those gems of projects that you did way back in 7 and you haven't had a way to update them, well, you could go ahead and give this a try. All we have to do is upgrade. It's actually pretty easy, especially if the projects are in X. If you just remember the rule to never update a project in the middle of it, you're not going to have a problem.